Hello, Toxon. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Joy-san. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so great. So good to see you. The last time I saw you was in Japan, and I think it's tomorrow morning in Japan already, right? What time is it there?
Yeah. It's about the eight, little past about 8 a.m.
8
from
a.m.
from you.
Nice. Yeah, it's about 4 p.m. here in Vegas. So I love technologies. Well, great. We'll talk. At first, can you pronounce your full name for me? I always slaughter it.
Takayuki Tsuchiya.
Takayuki Sachiya.
Takayuki Tsuchiya. It's hard to say. I don't think there is no other country has this pronunciation. Tsu.
Yeah, I can't do it. But to me, it's easy. Taksan. And
Yeah.
um, I love the Japanese culture with san, very respectful. So it really just me, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm talking to, a friend or even a colleague or somebody I've just met, I will often call them by their name and then add san, which just means like Mr. or Mrs. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Like Daniel San on the Karate Kid. Perfect.
Yeah,
Well, and that by the way, when I saw that when I was a kid, that's what made me want to go to Japan is watching the Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi.
yeah, Mr. Hip-Hop Morita, right?
Yeah. So, talk what so tell me where did you grow up and how has that shaped who you are today?
Oh, I was born in the Tokyo and I grew up there, and but I am not the central of Tokyo. It's a little bit countryside of the Tokyo, and then I have a one oldest elder sister and one younger brother, and then I just about the teenagers, just about the ordinary kids, and hopping around and yeah, having fun with that, and then my dad has some kind of the business outside of Japan, so he's gave me to a chance to go study abroad.
Hmm.
So and then my sister already been study in Utah
Okay.
and in Snow College down there in the middle of nowhere in
Yeah.
Utah, and then she introduced me to come, and so I go there and I grew dry, and then you know that's that's and then I think I met the business like MLM, yeah, the other company like New Skin or Herbalife, and
Yeah.
then jump into the stuff as Herbalife. That's starting my career, and I love this job. I love this industry, and then I meet you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's how we met is with Unicity. So Ephraim,
Right.
Utah, Snow College. I did not know that. So you uh how many years were you in Utah?
I was just in the 2 years.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know why I did not know
No.
that. Yeah. So that's
Oh,
just a
really?
couple. I remember when I was a little kid, my parents took us to this bed and breakfast place in Ephraim. So it was the middle of winter and it was just a little cabin and it was awesome. But they made us some good food and I remember playing Rooma Cube. It's just a board game that night. And I remember thinking Ephraim was so cool. And I had no idea what it was. But you're right, middle of nowhere.
True. It's they only have the Snow College and this bunch of students. Other than that, there is talkie firms around
Yeah.
the town. Most likely, the population is more likely much human than the talkies.
Yeah, 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 for
But
sure.
all of a sudden, after the Christmas, they all gone.
Yeah. Was there any Japanese food that you found there, or did you have to just make your own?
Make my own. there was no at that time there is no such things in Utah.
Hmm. Oh
So
no,
I do my own.
that's great. So, tell me about something in your childhood, a memory that really stands out that still influences you today.
Huh. I was kind of very close to my grandpa. He's kind of very cool guy for me. He took me to every summer to go to rivers on outside of the mountains. He took me those kind of area, and he taught me how to catch the fish and how to cook the fish. How to play around with the natures. And then he always told me, if you're going to the fish, you don't you don't take the too much fish because you're going to at the end this is a play, this is a fun, but at the end of the day you're going to take their life, so you have to take their life respectably, so you don't have to take more too many,
Yeah,
so you have to be catch the fish as much as you can eat them.
right.
That's what he told me. So he is kind of a cool guy for me. He's more likely you know mentor to me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I loved him.
I'm picturing Mr. Miyagi as your grandpa right now.
That's kind of him. He was kind of the last live here, and he's a cool guy to me.
That's
I
great. Well, that's awesome. Now, we've known each other for many years now, as you've helped lead our business in Japan, which has done amazing. But has there been any moments in the last couple years where you've had a big problem or a challenging time that ended up being very rewarding, or you learned something very, very unique from that?
Yeah, the maybe I think that this is happened to everyone in the world in the COVID-19. That was kind of different the experience that I had. Everyone all of a sudden every city, every towns, shut it down. Most likely no one to outside. So I was kind of very depressed, and I think I lost some hopes
Hmm.
during that time. But I was not giving up. That I knew something. This is not going to forever. So if going to become somehow, I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming back sooner or later. So I think I was asking to the leaders and work together. We tried to find the way that we can what we can do it. So we try to be a normal, not other than to afraid to go inside. That's kind of challenge for myself. And then at the time, maybe the very much about the Japanese culture. Japanese culture has very much how to say a peer pressure
Hmm.
around us. Some people say right, everyone goes to right. So in that sense, everyone go inside, no go outside, isolate. That's kind of everyone say right, but
Hmm.
in the time I go left. Try to be a normal, try to be a regular life. That
Hmm.
was challenging. So even for the staff and even for the leaders, some the people doesn't like that way, so that's kind of challenging. But during the time I that did it, I found out the very good thing is in between that the things get worse, the government tried to be open time to time, very short period of time. So in that time, we tried to get the reward trip and going for the Hokkaido, going to some other Kyoto area. But that time was very, very grateful time to give us a special treatment from that area. Like a Hokkaido, very big famous hotel, give us yeah very reasonable price to be whole building for us, or even for the Kyoto. Do you know the Kiyomizu-dera? You
No.
know, no, a very famous big temple.
Okay. So in the hills of Kyoto.
Yeah, in the
Yeah, yeah.
hills of
I've seen photos.
Kiyomizu-dera. Yeah, that's the one. In the
Okay.
night time, they give us open for us only, exclusively only for us. This
Cool.
is not happened to before and after. So that's the why it's because of the COVID-19.
Yeah.
So they lost their tourists and they have to, lack of, the many tourists or foreigners. So
Hmm.
they are looking for something to give them a special offer to, having some other people. Because that's the case, we took that chance.
Yeah.
That like, if there's something like everyone to scare of, there is a chance. That's what I learned from of it.
That's great. That's an awesome story. Yeah, and if you guys weren't brave and acting normal, you would never have had that opportunity.
True. That is it.
Um, so my wife and I really want to go to Kyoto. That's high on our bucket list, and we want to go in the cherry blossom season. So one day, is that a good area to go to for the cherry blossoms?
Sure, of course.
And that's
And
next month or soon, right?
it just about the time.
Hmm.
Now
Right
is the
now.
time. Right now.
Okay, well, hopefully right now, in a year or two, we're there in Tokyo, and then we'll take one of the trains to Kyoto.
But there is a trick, it depends on the year,
Hmm.
weather like. It's not always like end of March. It's sometimes to the middle of March, or maybe a time to time only of April. It depends on
Tricky.
2 weeks.
So, so that's hard for when like I'm planning travel from the US. How do I do that?
You have to wish a luck, or maybe you're going to be a successful person. You can heard about it, just hop in and
Okay.
come.
So wait till last minute. How in Japan, how far in advance do you guys know that it's happening? Like, oh, it's early this year, it's late this year. How much time do you need?
Ah, maybe the weather forecast telling us their forecast about the cherry blossom give us like 2 weeks advance, like that. So maybe you will know exactly, or maybe highly potential dates will be known like 2 weeks before.
2 weeks. And then I think the key is that you need to stay for a long time, stay for a week or two so that you're there.
Right.
Okay. Well, I was hoping you'd give me some like Mr. Miyagi tricks and be like, oh, I know how to, I can smell it in the air. Well, that'd be
Yeah.
cool. Well, enjoy the cherry blossoms this year. They're so beautiful. I've got a picture saved where it's a cherry blossom with Mount Fuji in the background. It's just beautiful.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's famous picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, tell me a little bit more about Japan. What's something unique about your culture that you're really proud of?
Huh. I think we are kind of very unique because of the we respect for the technology as well as the history, traditional way. So I don't think any other country like the ancient history buildings right there and next to highly modern building next to us.
Hmm.
That's very rare case. most likely, Old Town and New Town is right there, but we have like old and new is next together.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very,
I like that.
and
Go
and the
ahead.
people are likely very kind,
Mhm.
even for Japanese people. Time to time ask someone to asking some questions. They are very too gently to teach us, or time to time, very friendly. So that's kind of unique things. I think I can pile off.
Yeah, I love that. I noticed that too when I was in Tokyo. This was my first time in Japan just a couple years ago, and it was beautiful. And like you said, the old and the new mixed together all right there, especially as we went to Mount Fuji. We hiked Mount Fuji and it was amazing. However, we hiked it in the middle of a monsoon and it was really cold. It was a very difficult hike, but it was amazing. We're just hiking straight up this volcano and straight down. And I don't get cold, like I don't take baths often. I just usually just shower. But I remember thinking the whole hike, I'm like, I want to just sit in a bath. And that's exactly what I did when we got back to the hotel. But, I saw the old and the new kind of combine. And as you're respecting history, but you're also, I mean, Japan has a lot of cool technology, a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Um, and everyone was so kind. You always see reports too, like the World Cup and the Japanese spectators stay after the cleanup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nobody else, but just the Japanese. So why are you guys so happy and kind or respectful? Where does that come from?
I think we kind of, when we grew up in the high school, and the parents basically told us that you have to be yourself, and then you don't try to not to bother to others.
Hmm.
So and then even for the junior school or my elementary school, they told us we have to clean up every day by ourselves, even for the first grade.
Okay.
And so there was no other, janitors and no professional, cleaner in school. We have to do by our own in childhood. And the
Wow.
first, sweep, and we have to wipe, clean up everything we have to do by myself. So most likely we kind of told us naturally, being in the clean environment, that's it's because of your fault. I mean, your responsibility.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
great.
that area is your responsibility. You have to be cleaned up. Like that's kind of very natural.
I wish more cultures were like that. I wish we did that more here in the US. To
Yeah,
imagine if every country stayed after and cleaned up the World Cup. It's always when you leave a stadium, it's disgusting. Man, it's very dirty. So,
yeah.
but
So time to time, when we go to some other area, we don't have so much trash can around us. So that the case, what we're going to do is to bring that trash with me and go back to home and throw it away to my trash can and at my home. That's kind of very natural stuff.
I noticed that too when we were walking the streets of Tokyo to get food, no trash cans. So I'm like, well, I guess I will take this with me and throw it away at the hotel.
Yeah, that's how it works. So that's why there was even for the street there was no garbage. Though no, it's very clean.
Very clean. I love it. So, speaking of going to get food, Japan has some awesome food. I love Japanese food. I love sushi and ramen, and I love some of our mutual friends who have come to the US. They often bring me haichus. Like the Japanese haichus are the best. There's a lot of fun Japanese things, but what is something that you think everybody needs to try? You know, It could be a dessert, it could be a local dish, a drink. What's something that most people don't know about that they need to have?
Have you ever tried the Japanese strawberry mochi?
Strawberry mochi, no.
It's a strawberry daifuku, daifuku mochi, and it's. Do you know what daifuku is?
No.
It's the rice cake and red beans, sweet red beans in it. It's more likely chewy stuff.
Hmm?
Rice cake.
Like a cake?
It's more likely what do you call manju? Uh, More likely a soft, white, a little bit of chewy, and that's and in that with in strawberry.
Okay.
That's you better check. You better taste it.
All right.
Strawberry, ichigo daifuku, what we call.
I won't remember that. I'll remember the strawberry mochi though.
Yeah, strawberry mochi. You will love it.
Okay.
Everyone should try it.
The when we go to Kyoto, that's the first thing I'm going to try. Along with, I love how you can go to like any ramen shop
Mhm.
and it's like the best ramen you've ever had in your life. Why are they all so good?
That ramen is kind of the bunch of taste, and it depends on the ramen shop.
Hmm.
The best ramen so far is to me recently. Nowadays, I pick one is about very close to our office.
Hmm.
Well, the name of the shop is Kamitoku Kamitoku Ramen Shop. It's located in Ginza. That's the one, and they also has two branches in U.S. in Hawaii.
Okay, so I got to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's much easier to you access.
Okay. Well, I will look that up. And then sushi, I'm trying to get my wife to like sushi more because I love sushi and two of my boys like sushi. But what about that? Where's your favorite sushi?
Huh. I like the tuna, but I don't like the oily tuna. I would like the lean tuna,
Hmm?
and then it's we call zuke. Zuke means it's in stayed in a little time with the soy sauce,
Okay.
so they make more likely a so taste in it, and also most likely a softer. And then I love zuke sushi. That's the one for me.
Okay.
Zuke.
I like that. That I like when meat's marinated here when we're like grilling beef or chicken, it's marinating. So it makes sense, marinate the
Yeah,
sushi.
yeah, marinated lean tuna sashimi top of it.
You mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, I'm hungry for some Japanese food. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. So I know you've traveled all over the world. You've come and seen me here in Las Vegas. You studied in Utah. Where's your favorite place that you've traveled and why?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say, US is a one, and especially for the Utah to me, because of the way I spent a very nice time in there.
Hmm?
And then other than that, I would say, huh, which one? Where is Italy?
Really?
I have been in Europe, and Italy was the first time. It was totally different for me.
Hmm.
It was nice, so authentic, more likely historical. I love it.
Yeah. Do you like Italian food?
Yeah, I think so far the Japanese people love the Italian food. You can find every town. You can find easy to find Italian food in Japan.
It's awesome. What foods can you not find in Japan?
I don't. think you know what? The Japan is the number one country has the Michelin stars restaurant. So I think everywhere you can find every country's food in this country.
Hmm.
Tokyo, Osaka, most likely covered every country's, even for the African Ghana dish, you know, you can find every kind.
That's great. Yeah, I love seeing the little Michelin star like shops that are in the train stations and just random places in Japan.
Right. So even for the very small kiosk type, they have, surprisingly, they have the star
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
that's great. Um, what do you think people misunderstand about Japan? What's something that you wish people knew better?
Mm. Uh, I would say the Japanese people is not open, and then especially for the language barriers. So they just keep mouth shut. I don't know. Maybe this is kind of our culture, but we don't. We feel like if we fail means we shame. So we are not willing to take the chance, willing to take the opportunity, willing to the fail because of the it's going to be ourselves being ashamed.
Mhm.
But if they feel like safe, they'll take more open. They will talk more. They will make it. They will take any chance. So feeling like communicate will try to communicate.
Mhm.
Of course, they are not to try to talk, but keep asking, keep trying to get it together. So they gradually open their mind, and they become a very good friend, so that they will be much nicer. I,
Yeah.
I,
No, that's good. So I mean, Japanese people are very loyal. So you just have to make sure you're in it for the long haul. Get to know someone before you try to push too hard in the Japanese culture.
right.
Okay, that's good. Talks on who has been a major influence in your life and why.
Stuart Hughes,
Same.
he, um, you know, he's different. I very very respect him, and then I try to be like him. You know, so he's very nice. He's very gentle. He's very deep thinker. You know, to me, he's like my Mr. Miyagi, another
Mhm.
my. You know,
Yeah.
he's the one.
Uh, what's the number one thing you've learned from Stuart?
That the thing, what do you call? I can have the phrase that it is something like you are the problem, and you are the solution. That's
Yeah.
that phrase I still remember every morning. You
Yeah.
know,
That's my favorite quote from him as well. And I think about that almost every day, from things that I've learned from him because he would be like a Mr. Miyagi to me as well.
yeah,
He something like you are the only problem you will ever have, and
right,
you are the only solution. And I
right,
think that's so like those first graders in Japan cleaning their space, like it's up to you. Like this place is either clean or not, it's on you. And most people play victim to whatever. I mean, bad things happen to all of us, but you still have to take ownership. And once you do that, your life changes.
right, exactly.
That's great. How long have you known Stuart?
Oh, it's probably been the 13 years now.
That's great.
Yeah,
He's a good person to know. The whole Hughes family is great.
yeah, I love them.
If you could go back in time 13 years ago or 10 years ago, what advice would you give yourself? If you could go to Taksan and say, do this, what would you say?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I never think that way. Hmm, what I can tell. I I would say you'll be fine. You can go for it. You better take more chance. You better take more opportunity. You know, you're not gonna die. You know, do it.
I love it. I think we all need reminders like that. Um, what's something unique about you or something that's funny or something that people don't know about?
I don't know. I may be a little different from ordinary Japanese people. I'm kind of very open. I'm very talkative, and then I'm joking around.
Hmm.
You know, so yeah, that's kind of about me. You know, like I said, you know, if I try, I'm not gonna die by
Hmm.
that. So why don't try? You never know. You know, those kind of mindset doesn't have most of the Japanese have doesn't have it. So maybe I'm the one being myself is because of that kind of mindset. You know, you know, the things that happening, yeah, time to time get worse, but it's hard. But I'm not dying.
Yeah,
I'm not dying.
I think that's amazing. And I feel that from you. You know, again, we've been in many events where you might be talking in a small group of people or a large group of people, and you're very inspiring. So, someone, I think there needs to be more people like you so others just follow and just go do something without fear. Like you said, I think fear holds most people back from their full potential.
Right, true. And especially with the Japanese people. So it's for the Japanese people, Japanese younger people,
Mm.
they're like they are more likely uh being the cool guy, being the settle, but it's too small. You better try. You have a bunch of the you know there is a rights and beyond that. So I don't want to be a being the people to be a small. I just want to give them a more try and a much larger personality they can grow.
It's great. What's something that you're very grateful for right now?
Yeah, the thing is, I have a very good friend like you, and being in a great company, and I have a great mentor, and work with the very nice people. This is unusual. This is so happy. I know the staff, I know the leaders, and not only for in Japan or other countries. I'm very grateful. I'm very happy person. I think I'm very appreciated.
Well, I feel that whenever I see you. So it's been really fun. I appreciate your time, Talks On. A couple quick fire questions to end this. Do you prefer mountains like Kyoto or beach like I don't know. What's the best beach in Tokyo? Or
Oh,
in
the
Tokyo in Japan?
beach. If you want to prefer for the beach, you better go to Miyakojima.
Kojima?
That's the best beach.
Is that
Miyakojima. It's down to the South Okinawa area.
Okinawa?
Yeah,
Okay.
Miyakojima. I visited a bunch of beaches around the world, but that's the best one.
Yeah.
Miyako.
Okay.
Even
So,
for the beautier than Hawaii or maybe the Caribbean,
wow.
it's much better. That's the best one.
Well, I need to go there because again, go telling like you said at the beginning, I love the Karate Kid, which watching them in Okinawa, I want to go to Okinawa as well. So got to go back to Kyoto and Okinawa and now see the beach there. So if you had a choice to retire in the mountains or the beach, where would it be?
That's good questions. I would say both, you know, both mountain and the beach.
That works.
And in winter time, maybe the summertime the beach, and maybe winter time in the mountain. You
Okay,
know,
love it. What's a book or movie that you recommend?
what would you say?
What's
Book?
a book or a movie that you recommend?
Ah, Japanese one?
Any.
Any? I love Star Wars. You know, so the movie I would say Star Wars, and book I would say. I don't know. That's the one the Japanese also made, right? But I they have in English version, but I don't know the name of the English title. Uh, yeah, sorry.
I read a cool book that was Japanese. Is it Ikaigo? Am I saying that right? Um, or because there's a Wabi-Sabi,
Uh-huh.
and I love that concept of Wabi-Sabi of like you correct me if I'm wrong, but like let's say it's a nice pot
Mm-hmm.
and it broke. The
Mm-hmm.
Japanese wabi-sabi would be okay, let's rebuild it and then fill the cracks with gold, and
Mm-hmm.
make this piece beautiful. And that it's like perfect imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So anyway, I read a book. It was actually called Wabi-Sabi.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I can't remember the other one, Ikai, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay. But my wife is a tea master, so time to time she making a tea for me, and she is kind of teaching the tea ceremony to the others. So to me, is wabi sabi is very close to me. Like my grandpa, he's kind of that guy, and then my wife love that way. So the wabi sabi is kind of very close to me too.
That's wonderful. I really love that Japan loves their culture. It makes me love the culture. So your wife's a great tea master. So do you like your Unamate hot or cold?
Oh, both way, but the most likely I do the hot in the first time in the morning, and then drink in the during the daytime. Maybe make the outside is hot. I do go with the cold, but outside is cold. I go with the stay with the hot.
Mm, I like it. I prefer it cold, but I think Japan is one of the few places in the world where in my head I want to be like in the cool mountains sipping on a hot
Yeah.
Unamate.
I did that today. The first thing in the morning, and I poured the hot water to my Unimate cup and sip.
Amazing.
That's a way to make me up.
Well, Taksan, you're incredible. Thank you so much. So, domo arigato. Thank you again for your time. We will see you soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the chance to talk with you, and it was very fun to me to talk with you again. Thank you. Arigato.